Very beginning, you'll typically have to get some inventory, especially if you want to have a bigger business. No gigantic businesses are drop shipping. So if you want to have a bigger business like a brand, you're going to have to do some sort of inventory. You'll have to front a little bit of cash, right? But as soon as you start selling, because it doesn't require a lot of operational infrastructure, you can grow really quickly. But then you'll hit these breaking points that stop your growth flat. And so either these will be cash constraints in the business, as in like you don't have enough money to buy more inventory. It could be traffic constraints, like all of a sudden your ads just stop and then the ads don't perform past a certain point. It could be that you've maxed out your distribution. Let's say if you're a retail distribution, it's like, okay, we got 7,000 more 7-Elevens. It's like, okay. And then we continue to stay at that level until we get CVS's, and then we stay at that next level. And so each of these kind of unlocks typically occur when you have a supply chain unlock or you have distribution that unlocks. The distribution can be literally physical retail distribution, or it can be ad-based and or affiliate based distribution. All of these different ways are promoting it so it gets it in more hands. So this is why the shape of this business looks this way. And you also can get stopped by all of a sudden you run out of stuff, right? Your supply chain dries up because your manufacturer can only do 1,000 units a day and you need 10,000 units a day. And so while you find the next manufacturer, you're flat again, right? And this is the nature of the business that you're really in. And if you're curious, what, experience do I have with e-commerce? Well, I'll give you two. So first off, Prestige Labs was a physical products business. We sold through a brick and mortar distribution base. We also sold through an online store. So we had both of those angles. I had distributors, obviously our gyms, and then also any consumers could buy directly from the store. So we had ads that were running as well. And so both those elements were e-commerce. In addition to that, the launches that we had for my last book, the Guinness World Record breaking book, this is literally e-commerce. It's a physical product that gets bought through a store and then shipped out, like very straightforward. And so the reason that this video is so important before I dive into all the other four is that most people think that there is something inherently wrong with their business when it is in reality a feature of this business, not a bug. And so the more you can zero in on, okay, if these are the big hairy problems that exist within the shape of my business, how do I put disproportionate effort on solving these key foundational issues or problems to this model that will allow me to outcompete all the other people in my space that don't know this. And I'm telling you, like, this is the sauce. And also, sometimes you'll have to switch 3PLs as you scale too. So even if you have the inventory, somebody might not be able to ship out 10,000 orders a day. Like when we did the book launch, for me, I had to find 3PLs who could ship out millions in 72 hours. That's absolutely absurd, which is why we had to have multiple across different states in order to make sure that every single person got their book within days, not weeks or even months. I talked a little bit about the cons, but let's talk about the pros of this. So e-commerce, it can scale relatively fast compared to some of the other business models. And the reason for that is once you have the stuff, I mean, it's really just like how fast can you hand it to somebody in exchange for money? And if you have a Shopify store or a WooCommerce store, any kind of online store, like they can just click and buy, and then you have somebody else who's shipping it straight to them. As long as they can ship it and they can buy, you can sell a lot of them. The issues is when you run out of stuff, the guys can't produce it, you can't get raw materials, they can't ship enough of them. These become the constraints. But fundamentally, if you're operating within all of those, as in they can ship more than you have, you've got enough inventory, as long as people keep buying, the number just goes straight up. And so, what's interesting about this particular business is that it also typically isn't going to be nearly as kind of key man risk from the founder. Of course, there can always be key man risk for key skills, but if you have a product that people love and people keep going to your store and buying it, it's a very sellable business. Okay, and so if that's maybe the upside, let's talk about the dirty. So what sucks about having e-commerce? One of the first things that sucks about this business is that in general, most people who own e-commerce stores, they can do significantly more revenue than some of the other business models.